Hello, good evening. I'm Owen Thomas. This is London Tonight. And you might not need telling this, but it's been another nightmare day for anyone trying to use the Northern Line. The service was crippled by delays and cancellations after the line's radio system broke down. Now, that forced managers to cut the number of trains and double up on drivers for safety reasons. And this afternoon, it emerged that desperate rail bosses have even been looking on the web auction site eBay for parts to help fix the fault. Our political correspondent Simon Harris with this.
Severe delays are currently occurring to all Northern Line destinations. This is because of faulty train radio equipment.
Echoes of the bad old days, the Northern Line living up to its unofficial nickname of the Misery Line. 650,000 passengers a day are suffering, and it's a real blast from the past which is responsible. Welcome to the Jurassic Park of train technology. This is the radio control room with its racks of ageing equipment, some of it installed almost 40 years ago. And this is the computer which is causing all the grief. It controls the train radios, and somewhere inside there something has gone wrong. The trouble is, no one's quite sure what. In the equally antiquated Northern Line Nerve Centre, controllers can monitor the progress of trains in tunnels, each is a red light, but they can't talk to the drivers. So for now, every train has 2 people in the cab, but there aren't enough staff to run a full service.
We're running about 80% of our service at the moment, and that's by putting another member of staff into the cab. So in the very unlikely event of a train operator becoming incapacitated, then they can call the line control room upstairs by a fixed telephone line in the tunnel.
So who's to blame? Tube Lines, the company which looks after the Northern Line, reckons the radios are clapped out and should have been replaced years ago. London Underground agrees, but says it didn't have the money. And anyway, that's beside the point, because Tube Lines has a contract to maintain the radios in good working order. In another extraordinary development, Tube Lines has admitted using the online auction service eBay to find spare parts for the Underground's ageing signals. The Tube is a vital part of the lives of millions of Londoners. To underline that, MPs began an inquiry today into how it's performing after the government's partial privatisation. Meanwhile, in the bowels of a building, engineers are working around the clock to try to solve a computer problem, which is making the daily commute such a misery for so many. Simon Harris, London Tonight on the Northern Line.
Survivors of the Ladbroke Grove train disaster have warned that too little has been done to improve rail safety. At a news conference, the group said that safety recommendations made by a public inquiry into the crash still